What would you expect from the comedy genre?
Funny things. I'd expect like heightened reality, stereotypical characters. Like if you see films like Mean Girls, for example, they're really kind of heightened, exaggerated characters, and it's more kind of boosted, I'd say, than reality, if that makes sense.
Okay. What films do you associate with this genre?
Oh, well, obviously like Mean Girls, Johnny English Reborn, Hangover. There's loads of examples I could give you. American Pie.
Okay. What kind of typical narrative set pieces do you expect from this genre? So the way it's structured, does it provide shape?
Oh god, that's a tough one.
Does it follow a set timeline most of the time?
Oh yeah, I wouldn't say that many. Like, do you mean like going back and forth in time, or?
Well, no, the way the film's structured, the way it moves on, the narrative. So, do the characters face different scenarios, or?
All right, I'd say.
What would you say is the most typical?
I'd say most of them, they always have like one scenario, maybe, and they follow that from the beginning to the end.
Right.
Really sure.
Okay, no, that's fine. And what kind of props, costumes, or locations would you expect in this genre?
Again, I'd say any really. Like, it depends on the narrative more than anything. Like, many comedy films you see can be based on like everyday costumes, everyday props, everyday locations. They can be shot pretty much anywhere. It pretty much depends on the narrative, I'd say, more than anything.
Right. Okay, and lastly, what's your favourite feeling you gain after watching a comedy film? Do you feel happy, sad?
Usually feel really happy. Like you go out the cinema and you talk about the funny things that's happened, you know.
Okay,
yeah.
That's great, thanks a lot.
It's not a problem.
What would you expect from the comedy genre?
I'd expect a lot of laughter, some fun, and what would you expect from the comedy genre as well, Conor?
Good time.
A good time.
A good time. What films would you associate with this film?
What films?
What films would you associate with this comedy genre?
Well, there's loads of films that are funny, like you've got your Role Models, you've got your Step Brothers, you've got your Anchormans. They're all good comedy films, which I know and love.
Okay. And what kind of narrative set pieces do you expect to see? So the storylines, or
I don't know.
What's the typical
Something
storyline?
that started out good, quickly turns bad, and then comes up again. I don't know, say like he's with his wife and he's having a good time, then his wife cheats on him.
Yeah.
And then he's really down, and then he gets with his wife again, and then he's picked up, and then he's sorted.
Oh, that's brilliant, thanks. And what kind of props, costumes, or locations do you expect in the comedy genre?
I like kind of like the middle class American kind of thing that goes on, just where they're just dressed normally, like a normal every kind of day kind of comedy.
And do you think that's a common trend in a lot of comedy films?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, what kind of films would you think have that?
Like Step Brothers, for example, that's middle class. That's a middle class kind of film, where they all dress kind of normally, apart from the comedy side of things.
Okay. And lastly,
yeah.
What's your favourite feeling you gain after watching a comedy film? So
just wanting to watch another one, I guess.
Is it?
Yeah, watching another.
And yours?
What was the question?
The favourite feeling you gain after watching a comedy film?
Just laughter.
Yeah, another bit of
Happiness.
Happiness.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Don't you worry about it.
What would you expect from the comedy genre?
Funny men with curly hair.
And you?
Traditionally men, perhaps young to middle-aged, but there are some older ones. Nowadays, a few more women. Yeah.
Okay, thanks a lot. What films do you associate with the comedy genre?
Rom-coms, sort of.
Could you name any?
I'd say films that have quite a lot of bonding in it, not bondage, bonding.
Any specific names, you know?
Like The Hangover, or The Ugly Truth, that's one I've seen recently. Just
Okay.
sort of rom-coms, but they seem to have a happy ending.
Right. Any films you could associate with the comedy genre? Think off on the top of your head.
Relatively, there's that genre of kind of Superbad and
Right.
what was the one with the little where he's in like a game? Anyway, American, often American, but some British cutting, witty cuttings.
Okay. What kind of narrative set pieces do you expect to see in the comedy genre? So the way the storyline plays out, the plot.
Supposedly, sort of an equilibrium, or to begin with, sort of everything's okay.
Yep.
They need to, but then something comes in the path. They need to sort something out, and it all goes wrong. And hilarity ensues.
Okay. What would you think?
Relatively light-hearted plot, unless it's a black comedy.
Right.
Yeah, similar to Alice's answer, kind of has a climax and then usually a happy ending, unless it's got a funny turn at the end.
Okay, thanks. And what kind of props, costumes, or locations do you expect to see? Any?
I don't know, it depends what comedy it is. Say if it was a Monty Python's, then it'd be some crazy things, some crazy places. But then if it was sort of a modern, sort of, like The Hangover,
Yeah.
just a big city or an American city. So.
Right. What would you expect?
It depends how strong the script is. So if it was a stronger script, it could take place in a more ordinary, mundane place, like a family home. But if it was more concentration on a sort of slapstick style thing,
So you think it definitely, the narrative is an important feature?
definitely it dictates where the film is set and how much
Right.
is reliant on it.
Okay. And last question. And this is the best feeling you gain after watching a comedy film. Could you describe it?
What is the best feeling?
Well, yeah. What feeling? What's the most favorite feeling you get after watching a comedy film?
Sort of. Not if I watch it on my own, but if I watch it with someone else, I feel like I've shared a good time or I've shared laughter or something.
Yeah.
I feel like it was worth watching because it's made me laugh.
Yeah.
But if it's been a bad comedy and it hasn't been that funny, I also often feel ripped off or disappointed.
And you? Your favourite feeling?
General contentedness at the end of it, and maybe perhaps you've learned something, or perhaps you've just passed some time.
Brilliant. Okay.
Yeah,
Closure.
Because usually, even if it don't have a happy ending, you feel closure because it's made you laugh and it's made you happy.
Yeah. Okay, thanks a lot, guys.
Anytime.